While I was busy raising our child, my husband said to me with a straight face,
"Caring for my mother is the duty of the wife. You must take full responsibility and do it."
He forced me to live with his mother, Emily, who had dementia, and pushed all the caregiving responsibilities onto me. As for my husband, he left a divorce paper and shamelessly went to his mistress. With a husband who abandoned his home, leaving behind a child and Emily to care for, I wondered what I should do from now on. While I was troubled and worried, Emily looked at me with bright eyes. "The troublemaker has finally left, hasn't he? But you can't just forgive him easily." Her smile was full of energy and determination. I am Sarah. I worked as a receptionist at ABC Trading when I met John, who came to the company as a salesman when I was 30. We started dating and got married about half a year later. At the beginning of our marriage, John was kind, and I was looking forward to our future together. John was the eldest son, but I was also worried about getting along with his family. However, contrary to my concerns, my relationship with my in-laws was good. Before our marriage, I heard that Emily was a strict person, and I was worried about getting along with her. However, when I met her, she was completely different from what I expected. My father-in-law, Brian, had already passed away, but Emily was bright and easygoing. We got along well, and she would even take me on trips and teach me how to cook. There was even a time when she took my side during a marital argument and scolded John for me. Emily seemed to have been strict with her children's upbringing, as John was quite obedient to her. Sometime after our marriage, I found out I was pregnant. I gave birth to a lovely baby girl who was as cute as an angel, and Emily was also delighted. While I was busy with the unfamiliar task of raising a child, a sudden misfortune struck. Emily collapsed from a stroke. Although she survived, she was left with paralysis on her left side and required nursing care. She had been living alone, but now she is unable to take care of her daily life. My husband said,
"I am the eldest son, so could you take care of her since you are the eldest son's wife?"
My parents had already passed away, and I treated Emily like my own mother, so I had no objection to living together. After that, my life completely changed. Taking care of my daughter while providing daily care for Emily was difficult. However, at first, Emily was mentally sound, and even though her body was inconvenient, she would watch my daughter for me, so I somehow managed. My husband was not very enthusiastic about parenting, and at that time, I thought living with Emily might be good for my daughter. However, I began to notice that Emily was acting strangely more often. She would ask me, "What's for lunch today?" right after we finished lunch, or she would wake up in the middle of the night saying, "Isn't it morning already?" When she was examined, it was found to be mild dementia. This seemed to be a shock to Emily, and she became more depressed. At the same time, my husband's behavior gradually started to change. While he used to say how cute our daughter was when she was first born, once she started crying at night more often, he would say things like,
"Be quiet,"
and
"Put her to sleep quickly. I have work tomorrow too."
At first, I thought he was just tired and irritated from working during the weekdays. However, he started going out alone more frequently on weekends, without helping with caregiving or taking care of our daughter. Of course, he didn't help with housework at all. Even though I was busy taking care of the child and Emily myself, my husband would say things like,
"Hurry up and iron my shirt,"
and
"This house is a mess. I can't relax at all.
He even complained about the housework I struggled to keep up with. He could at least help a little, but he only lounged around on his phone or watched TV. Meanwhile, I couldn't go out and leave my daughter or Emily alone. Eventually, my husband's irritation was directed at Emily. When Emily said, "I'm hungry," after dinner, he would laugh and belittle her by saying,
"Huh, your dementia is quite severe."
When she woke up at night, he would shout,
"I'll tie you up."
At first, Emily would argue back, but after experiencing this repeatedly, she stopped responding. Seeing this as an opportunity, my husband would often yell at her violently, and I often intervened. The reason I defended Emily so much was because my own parents had already passed away, and she treated me like a real daughter, so I was very fond of her. As those days went by, my husband started coming home late every night. One night, he came home reeking of alcohol and perfume. While I thought it was possible to pick up different smells when going out drinking with colleagues, I was shocked when I saw the credit card statement one day. There were numerous charges for luxury brand bags and restaurant bills. Of course, I didn't receive any of these things, nor had I dined out recently, which left only one answer. My husband was having an affair. While he left caring for his own mother and raising our daughter to me alone, he was enjoying himself with his mistress. I was filled with anger. I knew I had to confront him about this and called him. "I need to talk to you about something important. Can you come home early today?"
"All right. I'll try to come home as early as I can."
However, he didn't come home that day. I stayed up waiting for him, exhausted from childcare and caregiving, both physically and mentally worn out. I couldn't keep waiting indefinitely, not knowing when he would come home. So, I fell asleep after my daughter and Emily were in bed. The next morning, I found something shocking on the living room table. It was a divorce paper, which my husband must have left without a word. Next to it was a note that read,
"I'm going to my younger girlfriend's place. Take care of my mother."
I couldn't help but shout in disbelief. What was he thinking? Leaving his real mother's care to his wife and then filing for divorce? I couldn't understand my husband's thoughts at all. While trying to soothe my crying daughter, I called him. After several attempts, he finally answered. "What's going on?" I demanded, my voice filled with anger. "I asked to talk this over, but now there's a divorce paper here?"
"You might have already realized, but I have a new woman now. She's younger and prettier than you. With your boring life, I choose her."
What are you saying? What about your mother's care? Are you going to live here with your girlfriend? And what about our daughter?
"I'm planning to put my mother in a facility. I'm currently looking for a good place for her, so please take care of her until then. Besides, I have work, so I can't."
I'm taking care of our daughter while looking after your mother. You've never even participated in childcare, have you?
"I'm working. You're unemployed, and I'm providing for you, so childcare and caregiving are your jobs. Don't expect me to do everything for you."
And you're just going to abandon your own mother's care to me?
"So that's how it is. Sign and submit the divorce papers."
He hung up the phone. I was left with mounting anger, and no one to direct it toward. In my arms was my nearly 1-year-old daughter, and next to me was Emily, who sat there absent-mindedly. Eventually, my anger turned into sadness, and tears began to fall unconsciously. I couldn't help but mutter to Emily, even though I wasn't sure if she understood me. "Emily, John has found a woman and abandoned us. I don't know what to do anymore. Upon hearing this, Emily looked at me intently and said, "I see. But now, there's no one to trouble you anymore." What? Can you understand what I'm saying? It's unforgivable for him to have a mistress while having a wife. You can't just let him get away with this. You have to make him regret it and take responsibility. I was surprised by her smile, which was filled with determination. Yes, that's true. Although I was half in doubt, Emily's eyes were focused and clear. Sarah, you mustn't divorce him right after finding out about his affair. You need to gather evidence and make sure you claim alimony. First, let's come up with a plan. Her words made me realize that I needed to gather evidence of the affair and confront him with it. I researched private investigation agencies and immediately hired one. It soon became clear that my husband was currently staying at his mistress's house, and I quickly gathered evidence of the affair. It turned out that the other woman was a subordinate at his company. When I told Emily about this, she said, "Then, the next step is to send that evidence to John's company," she said with a smile. Is it really okay to do that? Yes, it's fine. He's the one in the wrong, so someone needs to teach him a lesson. Her lively demeanor made me feel at ease. As Emily advised, I sent the evidence of his infidelity to his company, and later, I received a call from my husband. Oh, what happened?
Sending evidence of my affair to the office is insane. I never thought you'd do something like this.
It seems you're misunderstanding something. I didn't send it.
Then who sent it? There's no one else who could have done it but you.
Don't forget about the mother you abandoned. And don't think this is the end. I hung up the phone. He continued to call, but I ignored him completely. At that moment, Emily approached and said, "Was that John on the phone?" Then let's proceed with the next plan. She seemed genuinely thrilled. A few days later, an unexpected visitor arrived at my home. It was my husband's mistress. It seemed Emily had contacted her using the number provided in the investigator's report. The woman appeared quite confident. "So, you're the one involved with my husband." "I'm more than a mistress. I'm his true love now. John told me he's going to marry me." As my husband had said, she was indeed younger and prettier than me. She was dressed in trendy clothes with perfect makeup and nails. Meanwhile, I was exhausted from childcare, with my skin looking terrible. Watching her, Emily began to speak calmly. "Nice to meet you. I'm John's mother. If you're planning to marry him, you know about me, right? I heard you need care, but John told me it doesn't matter because you're going into a facility." She spoke bluntly, which made my blood boil, but Emily continued to speak calmly. "A facility, huh? Do you know how much it costs? I hear it requires quite a large sum to enter. I don't have that kind of money, and I'm sure John would be shocked if he knew the amount. And if he divorces due to an affair, there's alimony and child support to consider. Without money, there's a chance I'll need to be cared for at home. And then it'll be your responsibility to take care of me. Can you handle my care, even the personal parts?" Her words, which were almost like threats, made the woman hesitate and pale. Wait a minute. I didn't hear anything about this. John told me we'd live freely together after putting you in a facility. Smiling, Emily added,
Does he think he can have an affair without paying alimony or child support? If it comes to that, we'll go to court, and legal fees will be involved, not to mention a significant amount of alimony. And you'll likely be liable too as his mistress.
She continued to pressure her, leaving the woman visibly shaken.
Alimony? Oh, I can't. I don't have money. And I can't care for someone else's mother. This is too much. Let's pretend none of this happened.
She hastily left, retreating in defeat. A while later, my husband showed up at the house. Oh, long time no see. What's the matter?
What's the matter? You sent those photos to my company and told her things you shouldn't have. She said marrying me is impossible now and kicked me out.
I just told her the truth.
My reputation at work is ruined now. What are you going to do about it?
He reached for me as I held our daughter.
John, stop it. You're acting disgracefully. Take responsibility like a grown-up.
It was his mother's stern voice.
Mother, I thought you were losing it.
Do you think it's acceptable to do as you please just because I'm old? More importantly, stop treating Sarah and your daughter so poorly. Sarah has taken good care of me, unlike you. You're just like your father.
Her words, filled with irony, scolded my husband sharply. He couldn't say anything in response to his mother's rejuvenated demeanor.
Sarah, I'm sorry. Let's not get divorced.
Oh no, we will divorce. After everything you've done, I have no feelings left for you. I have evidence of your affair and our daughter's situation, so I'll be sure to claim alimony and child support. I finally found the peace to discuss our separation. Shortly after, my sister-in-law Amy, John's older sister, came by. When I explained his affair and Emily's cognitive improvements, she shared stories of the past. Apparently, Emily had once caught her husband cheating, gathered evidence, and forced them apart. As expected of her, even in her husband's lifetime, he couldn't stand up to her. According to the doctor, her dementia wasn't actually cured, but it was fortunate that she regained her senses and offered me support when I felt uncertain. Amy decided to take Emily in and care for her. She is as reliable as her mother, so I knew I could trust her. When we said goodbye, Emily tearfully said,
Sarah, I'm truly grateful for how you cared for me. I'm sorry my son turned out to be worthless. Enjoy your new life.
Although my marriage was a mistake, I felt blessed to have had her. I received alimony and the divorce was finalized smoothly. Of course, I made sure to secure future child support as well. As for my ex-husband, his relatives cut ties with him once they found out he'd abandoned his mother's care to his wife and pursued a mistress for a divorce. At work, it was discovered that he'd been involved with a subordinate, leading to his demotion and transfer to a rural branch. With a significant salary cut, he struggled financially. The woman involved had already quit her job and disappeared from his life. Apparently, she'd threatened him, claiming to be pregnant with his child, but she was involved with multiple men, and the truth remained uncertain. My ex-husband was left without allies or money. Well, it's his own fault for betraying both his wife and mother. As for me, as a single mother, I thought about where to work and came up with the idea of working at a nursing facility. Through my experience with Emily, I wanted to help those who needed support. I found a daycare where I could leave my daughter and focused on working hard while fulfilling my role as a mother. And during those days, I met the person of my destiny. He was a salesman for a company that supplied medical equipment to the facility. Seeing him gently interacting with the elderly residents in the hallway touched my heart. He earnestly listened to my parenting concerns, and his warm gaze felt like spring had come to my heart after a long winter. From that day, he became an indispensable part of my life, and soon we promised to walk towards a new future together. He was kind to my daughter and she grew fond of him. This time, I'm determined to build a happy family.